Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the India Giving Day Training 2. Today, we are going to talk about creating a successful India Giving Day campaign for your IGD 2025. So, essentially, our goals for today are going to, really provide you with an overview of the essential elements of a marketing and communication campaigns for India Giving Day. A lot of you have lot of previous fundraising experience, and you're bringing a wealth of information with you. So what I would like to say is that for India Giving Day online campaign, what you would want to essentially do is draw upon that previous experience, upon previous online fundraising campaigns that you've done, adapt and refine them and utilize them for IGD 2025, taking into account some of the learnings that we are going to provide you with today. What you can also essentially do is, if you develop a good India Giving Day campaign for this year, you can also use it as a blueprint for your campaigns for next year onwards, as well as your other online fundraising campaigns. Moving on, I'll now start sharing the PowerPoint presentation that I Um, so as I mentioned, today we are going to talk about creating a successful India Giving Day campaign. And uh, I want to talk about 4 important phases of the campaign. The first phase is a campaign overview and plan. And, we recommend that IGD team recommends that you develop a 60-day plan so you have a well-designed strategy for the campaign and that you're not scrambling at the last minute, when you're coming close to the early giving phase or actual India Giving Day. Um, we also saw last year that some of the organizations developed a website, but because they didn't have a comprehensive campaign plan, the results or the outcomes of IGD campaign of IGD were not as great as they could be. So we really recommend that all of you, especially if you're short on resources, time, people, then it's even more important to start working on your campaign ASAP. So the first phase is the planning phase, and depending on the size of your nonprofit, this could be led by either your communications or marketing manager, or if you're a small team, this could even be led by your executive director, board member, or volunteers. You can use, as I mentioned earlier, you can use previous online campaign plans and customize them for IGD 2025 or develop something, new for India Giving Day 2025. The second phase, which we recommend, is the pre-launch phase, and this would be essentially Jan 15th to Jan 14th. And this really includes prepping everything and making sure you're ready for a successful giving day. You can use this time to develop or identify existing content that you want to use in your messaging. You can develop engagement strategies, customize it with our resources and nonprofit toolkit, prep email, social media for IGD and early giving, and even start the initial outreach to your core supporters during this phase. If you're thinking about having events on India Giving Day, this is a good time to kind of think about what kind of events do you want to have, virtual, in person, who might be willing to host an event for you, or would you want to host the event yourself? Um, After the pre-launch phase, we recommend a launch build-up phase, which would be Feb 15 to Feb 28. And this really includes, sending out email teasers on social media, probably a save the date email, and start creating the enthusiasm amongst your base and volunteers and fundraisers as well. The final phase would be the launch and execute phase, which is really from March 1 to 14th. And as you know, March 1st is when early giving starts. So this is really the time that you want to make sure all your supporters and volunteers are sharing information about IGD campaign amongst their networks. If your peer-to-peer fundraisers are really enthused and going out and getting their, P2P donations, and as well as, just getting ready for the main IGD on March 14th itself. So moving on, campaign overview and plan. So during this phase, the campaign overview and plan, um, we would say that really get together with your team and think about what are your goals for the campaign. And these could be in addition to raising US dollars. It could be, you want to engage first time donors and you want to set a number to what that is. It could be 30, it could be 100. You want to also get donations from your current donors. And again, develop a goal around that. And do you want to engage with major donors? If so, what is the number? 10, 5, 2? So this is a time to really think about what your goals for the campaign are, and the goals that you set, while they should be stretch goals, but they should also be achievable. So make sure that they're based on facts, on and based on your previous experiences, but do set a little bit of a stretch goal for yourself, but nothing so unachievable that your chances for success are really reduced. Um, this is also the time that you want to identify and assign resources, and this is important for both small as well as large organizations, so that you know who is going to be handling what aspect of the campaign. Are there any gaps? Do you need help with any specific aspect? If so, do you have the resources to engage a consultant? If not, can one of your volunteers or perhaps even a board member fill that gap? And that could be social media marketing or developing content. So you really at this point want to identify what is it that you have and what is it that you need, and who is going to fulfill that need and how. This is also a good time to develop a campaign timeline with what are the activities you want to think of doing it during the pre-launch and launch campaign. Another thing that you want to think about during this period is what are you raising funds for? So many of you went to your donor base for end of the year fundraising. So when you come into India Giving Day, even though there's almost 3 months from December till March, but you want to make sure that the ask you're coming with is slightly different. It's fresh. It comes as a new approach, a new ask for your donor base. So you want to think about it. How can you differentiate it from your fundraising campaign that you did at end of the year, and develop a very specific ask or theme for India Giving Day. For example, you could say the funds that you raise could go for digital libraries or for training youth in livelihoods, etc., or for some specific project that you've not spoken about during the December campaign. Moving on, and now we are going to talk a little bit about the pre-launch phase. And one of the most important things during this time is you want to consider the different segments for campaign outreach. So while the recommendation is that you reach out to your entire donor supporter volunteer base during for India Giving Day, but at the same time, you want to segment them to see which approach would work the best for which donor segment. So, for example, you have donors who gave during India Giving Day 2024, and you want to think about how do you approach them for 2025. So you may want to send out a early on email that thanks them for having supported you in 2024, talks about the achievements or the outcomes of what you did with that support, and then ask them to save the date. India Giving Day is 2025 is approaching, and here's the date, and we are looking forward to your ongoing support, kind of an email. So they also know what you've done with the previous year's campaign funds, and they're prepped for the upcoming campaign as well. Similarly, for major donors, again, you want to, think about what is the approach you're using. For example, if you have raised funds from, you know, uh, 5 or 10 major donors during December time, and you don't feel comfortable in going out and asking them for funds again. So how do you leverage those major donors who are, core part of your support? You could ask them for funds again. You could also use a different strategy and ask them to host an event and invite a lot of their friends, perhaps co-workers, family to that event, and talk about why they have supported your organization in the past, and request others to support you as well during India Giving Day. So that way you're getting new donors into your network, you're getting new people who are aware of your organization, and you're also in a way honoring your existing donors by upholding them as philanthropists who've been supporting a certain cause, your cause for a long time. So there are many different ways of really approaching your target audience, and a lot of this, that approach has to be decided during the pre-launch phase, and then your communications, whether it's email, interpersonal, or social media, has to be accordingly segmented towards has to accordingly be developed towards these various donor segments. Another thing that you may want to think about when engaging your target audience is who are the people who've been very engaged with your organization. And this is irrespective of the donation level. So, this is more to do with, people who share your stories on social media, who turn up for your events, who advocate for your organization, irrespective of what the donation level is. And these might be good candidates for peer-to-peer fundraisers for your organization, or for generally spreading the word about your IGD campaign on social media and their various networks. So you want to think about them, and early outreach to these core supporters or vocal advocates for your organization is highly recommended. You would want to think of an initial email going out to them, and asking them to save the date, as well as letting them know about peer-to-peer fundraiser page for your organization, and requesting the support for that. Lapsed donors, one-time donors, do think about how you want to re-engage them. Another thing you want to think about at this stage is how do you convert your non-donors to donors. For example, if you have a newsletter which is going out to, say, 1,000 people, 500 of them are donors and 500 are not. So how do you convert those 500 into donors through your India Giving Day campaign? That's another thing you want to think about during the pre-launch phase. We touched a little bit about events, and I want to talk a little bit more about this, as well as towards the end of this presentation. I'll also take you through the website menu, where we have more details on events. So last year we had a very, very successful experience with organizations and individuals holding events in celebration of India Giving Day. And there were a number of events held in person, virtual, a lot of organization and people also applied for event grants from India Giving Day. And we really thought that this was a really good way of engaging audiences, different target audiences, as well as core supporters for an organization. So for events, you really want to start thinking right now about what are the kind of events you can potentially hold. Do you want to organize them yourself? Or would you want someone to organize it on your behalf? And this someone could be a board member, a volunteer, a student volunteer. So you want to start thinking about your outreach to them and what is the conversation or messaging you want to develop in order to ask them to hold an event for you. So this is something, it takes time to decide what kind of an event you want to have, invite people, organize a venue, and any small catering that you might want. So this is absolutely the right time for you to start thinking and executing upon your event strategy, especially in terms of outreach to others to hold events for your organization. So, um, so um, do start getting out to your supporter base and start thinking about what events you want to have to celebrate India Giving Day. The next thing I want to talk about is the communication channels. And as you know, for online marketing, we have email, social media, and interpersonal channels. Email marketing is one of the most important things for online fundraising. According to current research, email is considered the most important communication channel for online fundraising because it's a highly effective way to reach a large audience with personalized messages, donation appeals, and updates, and generates a significant portion of online nonprofit revenue. So you really want to start thinking of the email marketing content, and in addition to the text, you also messaging, you also want to think about what are the images that you want to use. Are there any videos that you want to use? Do you already have them, or would you need to develop them, or repurpose existing material, for your communication, email communication? Similarly, for social media, you want to think about the content that you want to use, identify it, repurpose existing content, or develop new content. In addition, for social media, there's several platforms out there. Uh, but what I recommend is that try to leverage the platforms that you have experience with. If you know a certain platform works well for you or has worked well for you in the past, and that your donors are following it and engaging with, for example, if there are a lot of likes on it, comments, shares through that particular social media channel, then build upon that previous success. Where are your users most active? Are they on FB? Are they on LinkedIn or Instagram? And they're tools to sort of get insights on social media channels. You could look at the engagement on the channel itself, the comments, shares, etc. You can also look at Facebook or Instagram Insights or Google Analytics and get more information on engagement metrics from there when deciding on what is going to be your priority social media channel. Interpersonal communication, and this is often we don't think about it actively, but it's one of the most important ways of communicating with especially our core supporter base and our major donors. um, uh, you and this would include one-on-one meetings, phone calls, events, and gatherings, and perhaps individual emails too, emails that are not going out to the whole database but are going out to just a few donors or to your peer-to-peer fundraisers would also come under interpersonal communication. It includes texting or WhatsApp, which is again a really popular way for many donors, core supporters, when spreading the word about a cause or mission that they are supporting. And I've seen in the past that for some of the campaigns, when we wanted some major donors to advocate the campaign to amongst their friends and network, they would ask us for messaging that they could send via WhatsApp. So again, that's a, you want to think about, start thinking about that already, and include that in your communications content development. We now come to content, which is the most important part, one of the most important parts of any online campaign. So what is the role of content? So the role of content um, is to educate and engage your audiences. It is to gain attention for your cause and your organization, and to build visibility for it as well. And most importantly, having built that awareness and visibility, content must convert your audiences into giving, and to your organization making donations. So you want to really think about what is the impact story you want to share through your content. You want to highlight the recent achievements of your organization. And as I mentioned, if you've fundraised, if you've had donations through India Giving Day in the past, or if you've had people donate to you at end of the year, you want to highlight some of what you might have done with those the funds that you raised from them previously. You want to also think about the goal. We've already spoken about this earlier. And the goal could be external, it could be internal. It's something that you share out there that you're raising. The goal of your campaign is to raise, $100,000 for through your India Giving Day campaign. Or it could just be an internal goal. You don't share it with the audience, but you do share it with your team and your board members. And so all of them are focused on achieving that goal and what it takes to get there. The call to action is, again, a really important part of your content. And this call to action can differ depending on who you're talking to and what stage of the campaign you're at. For example, at a certain stage, it could be to share posts with friends or family members, or to help win a prize or a matching gift. And you would need to have emails ready, content ready for social media and emails for that, to take place effectively. Your call to action could also be to invite your core supporter base to fundraise for the organization, to organize, to ask them to start a P2P fundraiser for you. So, this is, again, you want to think about what is the campaign stage you're at, and who are you talking to, and what is your call to action going to be. You would want to, during the pre-launch period, create a content calendar, and as well as follow it. So you see on the screen that I have a mock-up content calendar here. And the first is on Feb 15th, you're sending out an email to invite volunteers to fundraise on your behalf. You could also be sending out an email to your entire donor base and asking them to save the date for India Giving Day, early giving. Feb 25th, you have an email, social media post going out. March 1st, early giving begins, email post. Email and as well as post. March 2nd, you could be having an IGD event at a board member home. And March 8th could be an email social media post, again, asking for support for your campaign, reminding donors that early giving is going on. Please get your family and friends to donate. Please share our IGD page with your network. So, there could be an email going out on anytime during early giving, asking for support as well. March 14th, announcement. Today's the big day. Make sure you get your donations in. Make sure your friends and family are donating. March 14th, later in the day, you could send out, you can still donate email. And then there can be a last call email. Just 1 hour left. Make sure you have your donations in. The other thing, so have a content calendar. Make sure it's developed ahead of time, and make sure that you know what is the content that you're going to be sharing during that time, and that you have all your communication assets in place for that, so that you're not scrambling at the last minute to know what image or what video you want to use in your campaign. We have spoken a little bit about this earlier, that you can, for some organizations, they might not have the budget to develop new videos or images, and it's very easy to repurpose existing content. If you've got a old video that which is a 2-minute video, and you want to make it into, say, 30 seconds or 1 minute, you can use external resources. Fiverr is a great place that you can find external consultants, video editors, etc. And it's very cost effective as well. So explore external resources, see how you can leverage existing content for your India Giving Day campaign. And so that's about, excuse me, that about sums up, our pre-launch activities. And I want to now move on to a mock campaign that I developed for you. But before we go on to that, I just want to mention that our website has a lot of resources and a toolkit, nonprofit toolkit that you can use for customizing and customize for your India Giving Day campaign. We will be going through those resources and toolkits in our next training. But I just wanted to mention it to you if you've already started work on your campaign, that the toolkit is on our website. I will show you at the end of this training where it is exactly on the menu, and you can use resources from there. Also want to mention that tools such as Canva are very useful for customizing content for your campaign. And we will be covering Canva training in our next training, but many of you, I'm sure, are already familiar with Canva, and we do have customizable templates available on Canva that you can use. So as I mentioned, we will now move on to our mock-up for India Giving Day, mock-up campaign for India Giving Day. And I will take you through all the phases of what that campaign, what a campaign hypothetically might look like. So just changing from this screen to our campaign. So this is the mock-up 60-day marketing communication campaign for India Giving Day 2025. I'm going to scroll through some of the top elements as we've already gone through them. I've given it a campaign name, and I just want to mention before we go further that I use the help of AI for developing this campaign. So, if you're short of resources, team members, you can go into ChatGPT, other AI tools, and leverage them to create a campaign for online campaign for you, and customize it for the needs of your organization. The campaign name is Empower India Together for Change. Campaign overview and plan. Excuse me. Raise X number of dollars on India Giving Day. And again, I've customized the goals that I customize the goals for this particular campaign. So engaging 50 first-time donors, getting donations from 100 current donors, and 10 major donors, organizing 2 events, and having 20 P2P fundraisers. So the campaign timeline is basically, we are starting from Jan 15 to Feb 14th. And the goal during this stage is to identify and build communication assets, recruit supporters, and drive early engagement among core base. So your core base is the one that is going to help you really make your IGD campaign successful during early giving and on India Giving Day. So early engagement of this core base is really important for your for a successful campaign. And as I mentioned earlier, figuring out, identifying your communication assets, what is the content that you have, what is the content that you need, and what are the resources you need to develop that at this stage is really important. We've already spoken about target audience. Under strategy development, define your campaign theme, branding and visuals, create a campaign tagline, or use the India Giving Day tagline. The outreach. Identify key partners who could be volunteers, board members, or youth, and begin major donor outreach for matching gift opportunities. So this should already have begun. And if you've not done it, you've not started it already, then do start your major donor outreach as early as possible. Your donors might be traveling, they might be having significant life or work commitments during Feb or March. So you don't want to assume upon their time. Reach out to them as early as possible, so you can start getting their attention and support for your India Giving Day campaign. Having said that, while you identify your key partners and supporters, make sure you have an outreach plan for your entire target audience. And whatever it is, whether it's sending out an email or engagement through social media, make sure that you are reaching out to your entire supporter and donor database for India Giving Day. Digital presence. Develop the campaign landing page with impact story, images, video, etc. Identify assets, which could be your impact story, videos, familiarize with IGD nonprofit toolkit. As I mentioned, we do have a detailed training next week, but what I will also do is just show you where it is on the website later today, so that you can start using the nonprofit toolkit. It has a lot of resources, customizable social media posts, email templates, guides that are super useful. A teaser campaign, social media, you can launch a countdown post, introduce the theme, share a short video of beneficiaries from your programs. Email marketing, send out save the date emails to your entire list with some inspiring messaging. If you have volunteers, this is the right time to engage with them. Recruit and train volunteers for your peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. Provide them with the toolkits, sample messaging, graphics, etc. And if you want to hold events, this is also a good time to recruit volunteers and others to host events on your organization's behalf. We will be carrying out a detailed peer-to-peer fundraising training. So you will get details there on events and tools for organizing, guidelines and tools for organizing events that will be covered in detail next week. The next phase is the launch and build up phase. And this would be Feb 15 to Feb 28. And the goal of this phase is to really build excitement. And if you're thinking of getting matching gifts from your major donors, then to secure those commitments by this time and increase the visibility of your campaign. Start increasing the visibility of your campaign during this time. Your storytelling focus during this time might be on past beneficiaries and also the anticipated impact of your IGD 2025 campaign. If you have any challenges and incentives, you may want to talk about that during this time, announce any matching gift campaigns, and also recognize the donors who have made those commitments. You might want to set milestone challenges like help us get to 20 peer-to-peer fundraisers by Feb 20th. So, these are the things you want to prep up, enthuse your supporter base, and get them to start, getting those outcomes or those commitments in. Going on engagement tactics. So a lot of this communication inputs and engagement tactics are also given in a communication guide that is present on our website, and it's a very detailed and comprehensive guide developed by Bonterra. Um, I'll take you briefly through it, but we will be going in detail into that guide in the next training. Social media. Promote the campaign using Instagram and other social media. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have been successful with a certain platform, then do use that, build upon that success. Yes, experimenting, it's a great idea to also to experiment with newer, something that is newer to you, but do continue to build upon previous successes as well. Events, think about organizing engagement, awareness, and fundraising events, or recruit volunteers to do so during this pre-launch, during this launch build-up phase. And finally, localized outreach. Engage your volunteers, board members, and other supporters to amplify the campaign and distribute print materials in community hubs like it could be the local gym, your local temple, your community center. If you want to develop a flyer and distribute it in your community places in your community where people gather, then this is a good time. The build-up phase is a good time to do so. Also want to mention that we have a template in our toolkit for a flyer, and again, next week I will show you where that is, or you could in the meantime explore a nonprofit toolkit and find that flyer in the materials that we have. Execution phase. This is from March 1st to March 18th. So as I mentioned, our early giving starts on March 1st, and India Giving Day is on March 14th. March 18th, we can keep the donation portal open till March 18th. This is in order to capture any straggling donors. A lot of times someone is busy on March 14th, they have a significant life event happening or have a work commitment, and they're not able to make that deadline. So while we are not advertising after that, but the portal still is open. So what your donor, in case they've forgotten to make a donation and they come back to you, I forgot, and how do I make a donation now? You can advise them to go onto the website. There's a search bar in the menu at the top of the website, and they can type in your organization name, and your India Giving page will come up, and they can make the donation at that point if they've forgotten to do it by end of IGD on March 14th. So again, for this phase, you want to set your goal ahead of time. And this naturally, the goal for this phase would be to maximize donations for your organization and participation from your supporters during India Giving Day. You might also have additional goals. For example, you want to grow your social media following, or you want to grow the visibility of your organization. You want to have more people sign up for your newsletter. So there could be additional goals that you have during this time as well. And especially for small or newer organizations, just growing your newsletter and also growing your social media following are really important because that helps your outreach for subsequent campaigns as well. Countdown to India Giving Day. So you could start sharing during this period social media posts with emotional stories and links to your IGD page. You can send out an email on March 1 announcing that early giving has begun and make your impact now, don't wait, make your donation right now. And final teasers like one day left, are you ready to make a difference? March 14th is the actual India Giving Day, and you could send off a email in the morning. IGD is here. Join us to create lasting impact. You can do social media shares as well as live updates on social media. Post milestones. We've raised so much already, and our goal is this, and help us to get to our goal. You can do donor shout outs on social media, and you may want to, of course, um, you know, um, be comfortable that your donor is comfortable with having a shout out on social media. But yeah, you can, if your donor is comfortable with it, honor your donor by a social media shout out. Um, the day after, so immediately after India Giving Day, or you could say even the week after, 10 days after, from after India Giving Day, you want to make sure that you have gone and expressed gratitude to all of your supporters, donors, board members for supporting you in the campaign, for organizing events for you, doing the peer-to-peer fundraisers, for donating to your organization. So for your donors, I just want to mention an automated email does go out when they donate, but you want to also make sure that you're sending out a more personalized thank you later on after India Giving Day. And you may want to share early results. What are the funds that you raised? What are the total funds raised by India Giving Day? What were the participation numbers and any notable contributions as well? So during your campaign, you're using, we've spoken a lot about digital media tools, um, but you also might want to use traditional media, press releases, partnerships with media outlets, if you have any, or developing new partnerships. And we've spoken a bit about community engagement, partnering with cultural groups, student organizations, and holding events as well. So these are some of the things that you want to for sure share think about start thinking about and develop a campaign which is not just looking at early giving and actual India Giving Day, but is actually looking from the entire period from Jan onwards till end of the campaign. So I will now take you to a website, and we will briefly go through the menu. So when you click on the menu in the top right-hand corner, you see the nonprofit toolkit over here. And you've already registered. Under next steps, you see peer-to-peer fundraisers. You see a communication guide and resources for building board support. So under peer-to-peer fundraisers, we have a potential list of fundraisers, people who could create P2P fundraisers for your organization. How does it work? There's a whole set of resources here. So you want to take some time and go through this page. We will, as I mentioned, we also have a comprehensive training on this, and you can see that on the training schedule. Then the communication guide, and this I just want to show you because So you will have to download the communication guide, and I've downloaded that on my computer. So I'll just share that with you. This is really a very, very comprehensive guide that Bonterra has developed, and we'll be going through this in greater detail during the next training. But quickly taking you through this is more than a communication guide. It's really like a total marketing and communications plan. So you please do take some time to go through it. Not everything would be relevant for you, so you may want to just pick and choose what's relevant for your organization and for your campaign. But it provides you what to start doing 12 weeks before the campaign, 11 weeks before, and goes on 9 weeks before, and finally 2 weeks before the campaign. So for you, this would be the period that early giving starts. And some of you might ask, why do we have an early giving period? And so most giving days do have early giving. Sometimes they start one day early, sometimes a few days earlier. In our case, we start on March 1st, and the countdown begins to March 14th. And the IGD portals, the platform does start accepting donations during early giving phase. This is also really important if you have peer-to-peer fundraisers, because it gives them that time to engage and get donations from for their peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. So really enables them to get more donations because of that entire early giving period. So finally, moving on to from 2 weeks before, you have 1 week before. What are the things you may want to do 1 week before? And it also provides you with the communication on the big day and what you do after the campaign. So what are the communications that you want to send out? What is the stewardship activities you want to carry out? So this is really a very, very comprehensive plan that is developed by Bonterra. So I really recommend that you take a look at this and see what can you adapt and refine for your particular organization. So that we're almost towards the end of our training. I do want to quickly take you to the rest of the menu items. So after the communication guide, you have building board support activities. Again, this is a very, very comprehensive page and gives you resources for how you can mobilize your board and what are the activities they can support you on. It has training videos, etc. Going back, you have spread the word, social media tips and tricks, sample email content, graphics and downloads, and finally give thanks. Going back to the menu, the third item on the menu is the events call for proposals page. So if you go here, you can see the call for proposals for India Giving Day events. And anyone can host an event, even if they're not participating in India Giving Day. So do make sure to spread the word amongst your board members, amongst your volunteers, and inspire them to hold an event for your organization to celebrate IGD. As you scroll down, you'll see that you can submit your proposal here. It's a jot form. It will take you less than 5 minutes. It's a very quick and simple application. So just make sure you go ahead and do that as soon as possible, because we are considering applications as they come in. And at the very bottom is the tools and ideas for organizing India Giving Day events in your community. And when you click on this, you come to our toolkit. And if you've not done an IGD event earlier, you might be wanting ideas. So this gives you both a participation guideline as well as a resource and toolkit is here on this page, whereas appendices are here. Appendix 2 is especially useful because it tells you the activities that can be undertaken by either individuals or groups for IGD events. And as you scroll below, you can see a sample bird's eye view of the kind of events and the hosts that happened last year. And you'll see that it's not just organizations, board members and high school students, volunteers have also hosted events. So do take the time to go to this page, the events page, explore different parts of our website. There's a lot of information and toolkits out there that can be super useful and beneficial for you. For today, that's the end of our training, and all training recordings will be posted on our trainings page. So make sure you're taking a look at that regularly. And thank you so much for participating in India Giving Day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next training.